right. Hi, everyone. Let me stop this music in my ear because it's going to bother me. Welcome to the Amplified Podcast. We're here for season 2 of it. It's been a long journey getting this all set up. Really do appreciate patience. I know people missed it. I got messages about it all the time. I want to just do a quick little intro before we get into the guest and all that. As you can tell by the title, it's Call Me Mingus. If you don't know who he is, he will introduce himself here in a few. Just want to say thank you everyone who's here currently, and thank you everyone who has resubbed Spazzy and Mingus. Just let everyone know, any alerts will be muted / paused during podcast so that I can re-upload it to YouTube and some other things and get the audio stripped and send it to other places so people can just listen and not watch if that's an on-the-go thing that people want to do. So this podcast is a little bit different. It's, live. We're going to do it live. We have little different segments we're going to be doing. Everything's going to be fresh and new. As you can see, we got a little background. It's a little black marble with a little Amplified Podcast logo on top. If I don't read chat, a little sorry, but chat can participate in 2 things-ish. So look forward to that. I just want to say also, sorry that I took a little break from streaming. I needed to get my mental health in check, and I was working a billion in 2 days, I felt like. But we are going to jump right in back to streaming. I'll post a new schedule later today or tomorrow, don't know when. But let me I have some things pulled up. We're gonna get everything, and once we get all this rolling for a few weeks, y'all will get used to the podcast segments and how everything works and how chat can interact and how we're gonna have a little fun time with this podcast, not gonna lie. So let me just message them to make sure they're ready to get on. Let me get their message. Let's see. All right. Are you good? Let me turn up Pin's volume before we get him on. All right. So, everyone, we're going to welcome Mingus here. And I'm going to undeafen so we can hear him. Hello, Mingus, can you hear me?
Yo,
Yo,
what up?
how's it going?
How's it going?
So if anyone doesn't know who Mingus is, if you want to introduce yourself to people in chat who don't know who you are for some reason, go right ahead.
Goodness. All right. I go by on Twitch. I go by Call Me Mingus. I'm a fellow Twitch streamer like Aliciana here. I play mostly Warzone. Looking forward to playing some Halo. Let's see.
Oh yeah, that Halo.
My astrological sign is Cancer. Born in Chicago, raised in California. When I'm not on Twitch, which is predominantly most of the time, I am a father of 1 and a husband of 1, and I work in the graphic design industry, and have so for going on like 25 years, I think.
Oh,
so
Jesus.
I'm an old dog. I don't know. I think that about covers it. I would hope. I think maybe.
About covers it. You
Right
think
on.
So? So let's talk a little bit about you said almost 25 years in the job you do. Is it something that you've always wanted to do, or just fell into it, or?
To a degree I fell into it. I've always been drawn to drawing. I drew from the age that I could pick up a pencil. Had aspirations of doing a comic strip and working in comic books, and ultimately what I really wanted to do when I went off to college was I wanted to get into animation. with a dream for working for Disney, like a lot of people that are into art and cartooning. Um, and I think I told you before, but I wasn't prepared really when I left high school.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to junior college and began taking some courses there in an attempt to prepare myself to transfer to a school out here called California Institute of the Arts, which is like a school that Disney actually started. And
Okay.
while I was in school, one of the courses I took at that time was something called desktop publishing, and I kind of got distracted by that and saw an opportunity. It was kind of fascinating to me at the time, and so I got into that, and I was able to uh, get a job relatively fast while I was still in school, and I left school and got into the industry and never looked back. And it pays the bills. I
It pays the bills, yeah.
it is not Disney animation by any means, but I still find enjoyment in it when I can.
When you cannot, when they
When I can.
when they don't change their mind 20 billion times for a project.
Exactly. Yes. Yes.
Cool.
100%. Yeah. I
And
think I complained to you about that enough.
yeah, it's literally funny. If you guys don't know, this is not just for show. Majority of the people that I play games with, we all talk offline. We all play offline. This isn't some show we put on just for a stream. These are real connections we're making with people. If you don't blame me, then fuck off. Anyways, in this time, is that like when you met your now wife? Is
Oh no,
where
that
is
was.
this was way later?
Oh yeah, I met her way later.
Way into you're
Um,
already like career and you're already
yeah, I'm
settled and
already
all
in.
that.
Yeah, I'm already into it. I actually met her um, at a previous job. She was working in the marketing department, and she was doing um, event planning,
Okay.
like corporate event planning.
Mhm.
So we kind of worked. She would do the planning and the coordination of all the travel and all that kind of stuff, and I would develop the support materials. If you know anything about like corporate kinds of meetings and conferences, um, there's a lot of that kind of shit.
Mhm.
They like to have banners and artwork and all kinds of stuff to kind of to support whatever event that they are holding. And me working in corporate and would be like they would consider the business to business space. That's kind of like what I do. But that's where I met her,
Mhm.
and she's actually um, my best friend's wife's best friend. So I met
Okay.
her two times, kind of like I thought I reeled her in when we were working together. I met her previously, but she didn't bite because she just was stupid, I guess.
Oh,
But over time, she wised up and realized that it wasn't going to get much better than me, I guess, and she finally bit.
she finally was like, "Oh, let me wake up for a minute."
Yeah,
And now
she
you
finally.
have one daughter, correct?
Yes, one daughter. She's 5 years old.
Very
She
cute.
just started kindergarten recently. Yes, thank you. I've shared pictures with you of her and like milestones and stuff. Like she's saying, that we're all um, we're all dysfunctional family, and yeah. So I like being fam. I share those kinds of things with you, and so yeah. But I appreciate
Yes,
that. She
very
takes after
cute.
me 100%.
That comparison photo you sent, yes, I would
That's pretty
hundred
crazy,
percent.
right?
I was shocked. I was like, oh my god, a little Mingus
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Very
Hopefully,
cute.
when she grows up, she doesn't look like me with just long hair. you know?
Hey, sometime it'll be okay.
Yeah.
I bet you it'll be
Yeah.
okay. Um,
Yeah. She'll be fine.
yeah. So you said you're from Chicago and moved to Cali. What was
Yeah.
that? What age was that at? And how
I
was
was
that
about,
transition pretty easy for you or pretty bad?
yeah, I was pretty young. I moved out here. God, I don't even want to put the year, but I was like 5 years old when we
Okay.
moved out here. So um, I have very few and faint memories of uh, growing and living in Chicago, although a lot of my family is from there and still there. But when I was about 5 years old, my dad, he worked for AT&T at the time got a big promotion that required him to transfer locations, so we all packed up and transferred out here.
Okay, so that wasn't like a huge change. You didn't have to like switch schools and leave all your friends and
No,
pity party.
I started kindergarten when I got here, so I
Yeah.
think I may have had some preschool, very little of it, like right before I got into that like right before we moved.
Would
So it was,
you ever move to Chicago, or do you like Cali so much? Would you ever go
ah,
back, basically? Like, would you ever maybe like stay a few months?
oh yeah, I would love to go back there. Like I said, I have family back there, and sometimes I get back there for work. We have an office that's in Chicago. I was back there for work maybe 2 or so years ago, and it was really nice. But God, I've just been in California so long that I can't imagine myself.
Anywhere
Um,
else?
yeah. Although I can appreciate like the seasons, fall, actually having a genuine like fall and
Yeah.
winter, like it all, California, it all just runs
Yeah,
together.
you
It's
say
like,
that until you go through a whole snowstorm and you can't do shit.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
the
that's
thing.
true too.
That's the thing.
Yeah, when I remember when we first moved out here, my dad, he would watch during Christmas or like New Year, he would watch the Rose Parade on TV, and he would laugh because he remembered watching the Rose Parade in Chicago, and he's just like, at this time, I would literally have to be on a ladder and go up on the roof of our house and shovel, snow off the roof. Now I'm wearing like shorts, and like
Yeah.
he's just thinking about all the people back there that are miserable, and he's not. So he got a real kick out of that.
Yeah. I mean, hey, yeah, snowstorms are not fun. They're good when
No.
you're in school. You get snow days, but
Yeah.
as an adult, it's a living hell, basically.
Yeah. Oh, I bet.
So there's a clip that I want to show chat and
Oh man.
you. This is my favorite clip, you know,
My
of
God.
Mingus, and I think Mingus knows what I'm talking about.
Yep, I think I can see it
And I
coming.
think chat knows what I'm talking about, but I had to play this. You don't have a lot of clips, but so I picked my favorite one. It's called Mingus Talking Shit. This is one of your most viewed clips, also. I think it's your third most viewed clip, if I'm correct.
Wow.
Um, and I love it because it's great. And chat knows what's happening, and we're gonna play it. Let me know if you all can hear it.
Literally, I started
They
tinkering
can, they
with my
can.
shit yesterday, and you know how you start fucking around with shit, you break it, and you get
You guys got
bored.
the guy that I shot that was crawling, right?
I don't know what these guys. The guys who keep talking about stuff. See, it's like I'm trying to have a conversation with you, and they want me to fucking shoot at people. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Where's this guy that you want me to kill? There, are you happy now? Oh,
Hey,
God.
there's a whole team right here.
I killed him. Where?
Broke 2 of them. I just got sniped because my team's nowhere to be found.
Oh shit. Okay, I'm talking all this shit. There's a guy right over here.
Yeah, and there's a 3-man team over here. I'm being pushed.
Rock out, going in. Target spotted.
Careful, Stone. There's
Did Mingus
one.
just talk shit to me?
No, I wasn't talking shit to you.
So this is the best clip that we will ever get, I think, from you, because you're such a peacemaker. This is anytime anyone knows on anything, and on my streams, if you've been here for a while, I always say I need a Mingus, because it's when me and for the people get at it, and Mingus has this chill vibe. So for this Mingus is amazing.
Oh my gosh. I still say that I wasn't serious. I was being cheeky. But when I listened to it though, I sound dead serious. But
Dude,
I was
you
just
do.
being like, like, hey, let me go get this guy. So these guys, because I think we were in the middle. I think you were asking me about my stream, and like I was going through like setting it up and adding
Yeah.
alerts and all this kind of shit. And I was talking about it, and we are kind of having this conversation, and then the battle started, and Slow started calling out for help, and so I was just like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah,
But
this was early on. This was clipped 6 months ago.
yeah,
That
that's
is that when
crazy.
you first roughly, like, I don't know, what's the, like, intertwined with everyone almost?
I feel like it. Yeah, like seeing that the fact that it's like you, me,
Yeah.
Slow, and Rust playing.
Mhm.
That was like early on because I think, um, yeah, like oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Like I think
because it's because I looked, like, I this is the dedication I have right now. I looked and scrolled through. It took me 45 minutes to get to the beginning of our convos in Discord because I don't,
mm,
delete anything because I'm psychotic like that. But um and if I can pull it up right now, I'm not gonna show it on screen because I'm not
okay.
doing that. But um the first message you ever sent me was in March of 19 of this year.
Wow.
Like, that's insane. Like, I know we played before that,
Yeah.
but it's insane to think of that. And I was looking through everything, and it was just like, it was like a message here, then GG, and then it started, like, because you became part of the dysfunctional family and a
Yeah.
big
And
part
then
of it. So
then
then
it
it
was just like I
continued.
started talking to you every day.
Yeah. It's kind of
Yeah.
crazy to think that, slowly people are joining, and, to have all these connections and stuff. And did you think you would ever be a part of something like this when you started streaming on Twitch, or was this just like a
No.
pastime?
It was just this thing that like, the pandy hit and for me at the time I'm working from home and I'm just looking for something besides Netflix to watch, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, oh, I had been on Twitch for a long time. I think if you go back and look at like when my Twitch birthday is, I dabbled in it for a while, but I went back and I started watching Eric Griffin
Mm-hmm.
because I was a huge Workaholics fan and I saw him uh, playing and, you know, um, there's just like this community in there, you know what I mean? Like chatting and stuff. And then that led to um I think he rated like Todd
Mm-hmm.
Lurking Deep for people who aren't familiar. And
Thank you,
so then
Tommy.
I'm watching him and if you remember like
Hi,
this is going back
Spice.
to before Todd had built his PC
Mm-hmm.
and his stream looked like Mario Brothers. It was just like it was like these huge blocks where you couldn't even read any of the text. Like I couldn't tell you like who he was playing with
Mm-hmm.
or any of that shit because like it was so pixelated you couldn't read it. But he had like this community going and everyone was just in there and they were like knew each other and I was just one day I just started I like I just typed in chat and the next thing you know it's like you're having these conversations um with people that you only know in this space and
Mm-hmm.
from there it graduated I think to Slow Dive who's one of his mods.
Mm-hmm.
I think Todd rated him and I went in and I started watching him and just listening to him and him playing with Stonebender. um I just got a kick out of their the banter
Yeah, they're back
and
and
their
forth.
relationship. Oh, it's like watching the odd couple play video games together,
Mm-hmm.
and I just got a kick out of it. And I think one day there he was like, any if anybody in chat wants to play, you can play. And I was like, oh, I'm like, shit, okay. I've been watching these guys play. I'm just like, fuck. He probably remembers that I was just like, I was like a fan, you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean, of just his content and playing. And so I was nervous, and, but it was just so fun. And I think that's the thing about this community and like you and him and everybody is tremendously um accepting
Mm-hmm.
of people and I think that's what drew me to like you and your dysfunctional family. I think you can even you. I think I remember one time, like just because I felt like I messaged you and I said something like, "Thank you for accepting me for who I am." I mean, if you remember that,
Yeah, yeah.
because for me, I'm an older, this old guy still playing fucking video games on Twitch,
Yeah.
and you never ever were like treated me any different than anybody else, and I that was like refreshing, and I really appreciate. I still appreciate that, and that's like with this community and everybody we played with, it's been about, and because of you, I've met so many people that I don't know IRL, as you would say, but I would consider them friends. I tell my
Yeah.
wife all the time, like, tell my wife, like, I know it seems crazy that I run off to my office and I close this door and you hear me yelling and screaming about this guy's down over here, but it's like it's
Yeah.
like you can't explain it. You have to be a part of
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
But it's just like
Anyone
it's
on the
like you,
outside, anyone on the
yeah,
outside is gonna be confused. But if you're part of a community and people that you're playing with for months now and talking for months now, other people are
yeah,
not gonna understand that. If they're not part of something, they're not gonna understand that concept.
yeah, no.
It's kind of
It's
crazy.
incredible, and I fucking love it. I love every minute. It's like you're saying, there's times where none of us stream and we just
Yeah.
play together.
It's been more recently that we've played a lot off stream.
Yeah.
And some of the best moments, and if none of us are streaming, happen also, like when we play
Oh yeah.
games and obviously we have talks we can't can't talk about on Twitch because but
Yeah.
it's almost refreshing also that we can do that we don't have
Yeah.
to. It doesn't stop if we hit the stop streaming button,
Yeah. Yeah.
like it's kind of insane. Like, I don't think any of us thought, like, if we told ourselves beginning of the pandemic that this is where everyone would be, we probably would, like, oh, you're fucking joking,
Yeah.
we're not
Yeah.
gonna think that. But here
I
we
feel
all are.
like that I am as close with you and the people we play with than I am anybody that I know in my real life. You know what I mean? I think it's reached a point now. I probably people I've known for years. I probably talk to you guys as much, if not more, than them. And it's crazy.
Oh, one thing I want to talk about is, how, okay, so in the beginning where, like, we started messaging more and, like, everyone started messaging more, you were
Mhm.
almost thrown off by that. Do you want to
Mhm.
explain that to, like, why?
I think I know what you're talking. Like just the fact that like everyone just communicated with each other like outside of this
Mm-hmm.
thing.
Yeah.
It's like it initially it's like, okay, this is this, uh, and maybe it's me growing up the way I grew up and being old. You just have like this. You create like these boundaries. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, it was like, I don't know if I should step over this line because historically as a line that doesn't get crossed. Like, I don't know if someone wants to hear from me outside of me streaming with them or playing a
Mm-hmm.
game with them. You know what I mean? Until then it's like you kind of take a leap of faith and you do it and you realize, oh yeah, it is bigger than just playing um Warzone. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's
You know?
it's it's more than that at this point. We're all,
Yeah.
as comical as someone might think it is, that we're all friends. We would consider
Yeah.
ourselves friends. Yes, we all met online, and but we're friends at the end of the day. And the dysfunctional, we all do get into arguments and little fights and little petty things we do, but that's the point of being friends. Everything's not going to be sunshine and rainbows. There's going to be some
Yeah.
type of disagreement. But
It's a genuine, like the name of your clique. It's a genuine
yeah.
dysfunctional family. It means that things aren't perfect, but at the end of the day, we're all still family. We all give a shit about each other,
Yeah.
and we can have these disagreements. We don't have to see eye to eye all the time, and there may be some dust ups, but when the dust settles, I can always count on you. I can always count on Tommy. I keep Spaz,
Yeah.
Rumba, anybody to be there, and
No.
it's awesome.
There's been a lot of times where, you know, I can't talk to my in real life friends that I've reached out to you, I've reached out to them
Yeah,
because, y'all sometimes know more than, my in real life friends. And it's nice because you guys have a different perspective. Y'all are older than me, obviously. Like, I don't know if chat knows that, but I'm the
a
baby of the
lot
friend
older.
group. Hi, I'm the baby of the friend group. It's a new
Yeah,
thing for me. I'm usually the oldest, but it's
which is
not.
crazy.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah. I would have never thought, but it's just refreshing because y'all have lived longer than me. You guys have experiences, and it's
Yeah,
nice to know that I can go to y'all and be like, hey, like, I need help. Like, what do I do?
yeah,
Some my age problem that you guys have already lived through, probably, or have an experience, or like your friend experienced this already. So it's nice to also have that side, when streaming is off and the games are off, and we're just all just talking and having a good time, and then we're just like all that.
yeah, one
um
hundred percent.
um do you know when we met or how we met? Because I can't remember that for the life of me. There's no
I
record.
I can't honestly. I can't either. I want to say that I met you through through Slow Dive. Now I can when I think back and see your previous screen name or one of the other screen names you used, double Lena.
Devilina,
Is that?
yeah.
I can remember you playing with like Todd and in a quad, someone else, and you know, I'm like, girls are playing this. This is pretty cool,
Hmm.
but didn't know who you were. And then, um, l- and don't take that wrong. It just surprised me. But
Yeah.
and then I think later on, after I managed to play with Slow a couple times, I want to say it was in maybe Eric Griffin's
Customs.
um yeah, that I think that like we got partied up. It was kind of like a thing where like Slow was playing and I was like, I'll jump in, and then like you jumped in, and I forget who else, and it was kind of like, oh, you're cool, and I think that's when I added you.
Hmm.
Um, but I don't think just like just me being a weirdo, just because I added you, I didn't feel like, oh, like you're gonna want to play games, run games outside of this. This is just like this unique thing where it's just like, I'm gonna add you and see what happens. And
Right.
I think you accepted my ad, and I'm like, that don't mean anything. Now that people just click add all the time.
Yeah.
And I think later on, um, you may have played some games um, with like Slow, and then I got mixed up in it. Just like here, where it was just like you're running games in the evening, and you're just trying to find somebody that has a mic that's not going to be screaming into it some bullshit
Yeah,
to play with.
some random, some keywords people use.
Hmm.
Yeah, and I think that's what happened because I don't have, like, I mean, it sucks at Twitch we can't save everything.
Yeah,
Like our VODs, if we don't save them personally, they're in the fucking universe and we don't see them again.
yeah.
Twitch, get your shit together. YouTube does it better. Okay, but uh, um, yeah, but I think that's how it is. And then we started running games more, I think,
Hmm.
and then this is where we are today. Um,
Yeah.
do you?
Then I think it was like I think at that point then I once I realized you started stream that you were streaming too, then it was kind of like it's like let me follow you and see what you're doing, and then I'm watching your stuff, and you're doing all kinds of stuff. You're not just doing at that point. You're not doing just Warzone. You're doing all kinds of shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember thinking like how like, and I think I've told you this before. I remember thinking like the craziest thing about you watching you stream is how you interact with all of the people that followed you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like you remember all kinds of shit about people, you know, like they would come in and they'd say hi, like, oh yeah, I remember you were supposed to go on a job interview 2 weeks ago. How'd that go? And they would respond. I'm like, holy shit, like, you know,
Mm-hmm.
this is pretty cool that you are that involved with your community. And that
Mm-hmm.
kind of like drew me in to like stay and watch you. And you were running games with like Pizza and Tommy, and you were doing like these um you're doing like community stuff. So it's like I remember um we were playing like what is it called, Scriblio or something,
Yeah.
like being
Scriblio.
in like, yeah, I remember like you guys were
There's a
like,
lot of
I
us.
remember you guys always talk about Discord, and I had no idea what you guys were
Yeah.
talking about. And you're like, oh, you should come to Discord. You should do Discord. So I signed up for it, and I'm like, now what do I do? And it was kind of like this thing where you're like, oh, we're gonna be playing this game, and then I'm like in here and I'm playing, you know, we're playing Scriblio
Mm-hmm.
with people, and then you would do like these movie nights at the time, and you
R.I.P.
would just
movie nights.
or, or you would just have like a you just this chat, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We just get in this room and everybody be in this room and just do, you know, like Pizza would be drawing or some shit
Mm-hmm.
and he'd share what he was drawing, and Tommy would come in and he would say something, and there was like tacos
Mm-hmm.
and fucking who is it, T, and some people I haven't seen around lately. I miss them and I wish I could I wish they'd come back, but I
They're all
know.
doing well. I can give you an update. Tea's fine. Tacos is fine. Trying to remember who else. Pizza's good. I don't know who. I'm trying to remember everyone. But yeah, they're all
Yeah,
doing good. You know, Tacos is in college, so it's, you know, has to focus on that.
understandable. Yep.
T's computer crapped out on him. You know.
I get that. I get that too.
Yeah, but everyone's doing good. Yeah, and I wanted like I wanted to build a community that was like interactive. Like it's not just you come into my chat and you're there to watch me, because obviously when I first started I wasn't good at COD's really the first, you know, FPS game that I've even attempted to really learn or to play. It was more of someone in chat was like, it's a free game, why not just try it out.
Yeah.
um so, and you know, I want people to feel like, you know, they're part of a family, like that, you know. And for me to remember everyone, kind of difficult, but it's a way of people knowing they can come back and we can talk about things that, you know, I'll remember it. And trying to, I don't know, I want to almost create a safe space for people who can
Yeah.
like be themselves, because obviously I'm not PG, you know. I'm
Yeah.
impossible sometimes for me to be PG. And I want, if someone else, you know, can feel safe around this, it's fine. And I want them to come back and be themselves, you know.
And I
It's
think you've successfully done that too. Because I know, and sorry to interrupt, I just know, I was thinking like the one, I remember you saying one time, like someone's name in chat or something, and you're like, I'm not going to remember that. What can I call you? Or, and you do something in OBS
mm-hmm.
where you're able to put them down as whatever you want them to be in there. And I guess that's like maybe one of your tricks to, you know, to do that. But it's like
Yeah.
making that effort. I can tell you, as someone on the outside looking in, that it's appreciated, you know, like
Mm-hmm.
coming in, you have created that, to me, you have created that safe space, you have created that community, and you've built that fam, you know.
Yeah, that little film. Um, I try. You know, I didn't think I would, you know, be doing this. To be honest, you know, it was a sporadic thing that I did. But I'm really grateful for like everything that's happened and people I've met. Um, so the next thing that I wanted to do is gonna be guess that line.
Okay.
You might have to look on stream because I can't screen share it for some reason.
Okay.
It's not letting me.
Okay. I'm going to look over
Um,
here.
it's all The Office. And
Yo, I'm sorry. I just saw chat, dude. Tommy, you're the GOAT. I love you too, Spazzy. I love you, Tommy. I love you, Slow. Even though you didn't say I was the GOAT. I know you think it. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so I have the answers because some of them I actually didn't know because I'm a pleb for the office right now. But so the first, chat can also guess who this is if you know who the office. It's not multiple choice, you just have to know it. And Mingus almost knows every office line, I feel like.
Close. I'm rusty these days, but I think I know who this is.
So this says the Dunder Mifflin stock symbol is DMI. Do you know what that stands for? Dummies, morons, and idiots. Because that's what you have to be to own it. And as one of those idiots, I believe the board owes me answers. This chat, I don't know if chat you can participate. If not, it's fine. But Mingus, do you know who says this?
That is Oscar Martinez.
Yes. You're gonna get probably all these, I feel like.
Maybe.
The
It's their
last
office.
Yeah. So the second one is sometimes I'll start a sentence. I don't even know where it's going. I just hope I find it along the way.
I feel like that's definitely Michael Scott.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
Good.
I also try to pull stuff from your streams too, you know.
Okay.
Oh. Little cat's meowing. Okay. Dwight Mercy killed Angela's cat.
Oh shit. That's a tough one. I remember the episode where Dwight puts Angela's cat in the freezer and she goes home and he put her cat in the bag and she clawed through. Dwight Mercy killed her. I feel like, I think it's Pam. I think you're right. Is it Pam?
Yeah, it's Pam.
Okay. She's really concise when she says stuff. So that's right. You're right. So thank you for that. Slow partial credit.
I'm a black belt in gift wrapping.
Black belt and gift wrapping. Oh shit. So that was a Christmas episode. Now I know Pam had a discussion with Roy about gift wrapping. Oh fuck. I know Roy was pretending like he didn't know how to wrap gifts, so he asked her for tips. The black belt would make me say Dwight.
Is that your final answer?
That's my final answer.
Are you sure?
No.
Do you want to use chat as a helpline? Does chat know who says this?
No way Phyllis said that. There's no way Phyllis said that, Slow. I'm going with Dwight because he said because it says black belt.
It's Jim.
It's Jim.
Jim Halbert. Jim Halbert. It does sound like something that Dwight would say. You know,
but then now when you say that too, that's some snarky shit Jim would say, mocking Dwight at the same time because he's got to take every opportunity to mock Dwight in his black belt.
Yeah. Number 5. As a person who buys a lot of erotic cake, it's nice to be represented on one.
That is Phyllis because she's a freak.
100%.
And she and Bob like to get busy.
Yeah. 6 is I wake up every morning in bed that's too small, drive my daughter to a school that's too expensive, and then I go to work to a job for which I get paid too little. But on pretzel day, well, I like pretzel day.
Pretzel day. That is Stanley Hudson.
Yep, Stanley Hudson. 7. I've been involved in a number of cults, both leader and follower. You have more fun as a follower, but you make more money as a leader.
That is Creed Bratton, 100%.
Dude, Creed! Oh my god, I'm so happy Creed was an actual cast member, not just like a one-time thing that they were going to make.
Creed, I feel, is like the most slept on character in The Office. And you think about the episode on Halloween where it was between him and Devin to lose a job, and Creed keeps his job.
Yeah.
And we get Creed, and Creed is just fucking so much he says is just
it's
gold.
Nice. It's refreshing. I don't know. Creed is like a nice character to have to throw something off or say things like this, basically.
Yes.
All right, number 8. It's a real shame because studies have shown that more information gets passed through water cooler gossip than through official memos, which puts me at a disadvantage because I bring my own water to work.
That sounds like Dwight.
Yes, it's Dwight. So the last 2, you have to guess 2 people. There's 2 people in a convo. So, we should really have the office air quality tested. We have Randon coming from below. I don't know how to speak English, obviously. Radon, thank you. I don't know why I picked this. All right, Mingus, you're just gonna read this for me because I read them.
We should really have the office's air quality tested. We have radon coming from below. We have asbestos in the ceilings. These are silent killers. You are the silent killer. Go back to the annex. You'll see. And that is Michael and Toby.
Who's who? Who's A? Who's B?
A is Toby and Michael is B.
No, I don't know why I picked this sentence that I can't read half of things, but it's okay. I'm not good at English and chat knows that. All right, 10, the final one. Boo. Unimpressed. It's a tightrope for babies. Boo. All right, let's see you do it. All right, let me show you how a real man walks across a flaccid cord.
Okay, this is tough because A is Dwight, 100%. Now, B is one of the new guys, and I'm trying to remember what his name is, and it's leaving my mind. It's not Plop. It's the other guy with the glasses. I can't remember his name. Does anyone remember his name?
I didn't even recognize this name, so I can't even give you any hints.
Is it Clark?
Yeah. It is. Cause I was like, who the fuck is Clark Green?
Yeah, Clark was.
I don't remember that.
So at the very in like the final, was it the final season or maybe in the last 2 seasons, they get new hires, and one is Plop, who becomes Aaron's new love interest that no one gives a shit about. And the other one is Clark. He's kind of like the instigator. And Jan takes a liking to him when they go on a sales call with her.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
He apparently has a thing for young guys.
Apparently. The Office is a great show. If you guys haven't watched it, you probably should.
Yes, you should. It's on Netflix.
It's not on Netflix anymore.
Oh, I'm sorry. Peacock. Sorry. Yeah. It was on Netflix so long, it just feels like it's there, even though it's not.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of Netflix, have you seen, what's it called? The Squid Game?
I have not watched Squid Game.
Do you know
My
about
wife is
it?
watching Squid Game. She's like, when I come in the office to play with you guys, she's in the bedroom and she's watching Squid Game. And like, when I leave, and I open that door, she's like, shut the fucking door. Because she's like, you're interrupting the flow of this. But she's glued to it. She loves it.
The thing, it's crazy. I think I talked about this. I don't know if someone was streaming when I said this or not. But it's crazy to think that this was written in 2008. And it was declined by so many people in production because it was too violent.
That is pretty crazy.
And it's even more crazy is because one of the actors did like a Vogue makeup thing 4 years ago. So it was in production, but never was in production till I think recently. I might be wrong. I don't know. I've seen a lot of TikToks about it, so it kind of ruined. I already know who wins. So pointless.
Oh man,
I'm on TikTok so much. It's a bad habit. I need a break.
Stay off that TikTok.
But TikTok is nice. It helps with my ADHD. It's a quick little, 1-2 can swipe. It's short videos. But would you watch it?
Would I watch Squid Game?
Yeah. Would you deal with the subtitles? Is basically some people won't watch it because of subtitles.
I don't mind subtitles. I would much rather read the subtitles than to have the overdub. The overdub bothers me way more. The lips being out of sync and then the voice actors not sounding like how I feel the people on screen should sound. And I went through I remember I went through a movie watching phase where I watched it with subtitles on no matter what, just because of like some movies, they're like the volume goes up and down,
Yeah.
and so it's like they're getting a gunfight and shit's fucking exploding everywhere, so you gotta turn down the TV.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, what's it? Oh, what's it? I'm like, what the fuck are they talking about? And you turn it up, and then that's when the pipe bomb goes off again. I was just like, I'm just gonna leave it here at this level, and I'm gonna turn on the subtitles, and I'm just gonna watch it. But what will take me out of it instantly is if the subtitle doesn't match what they're saying. Then I'm like, fuck this. Like,
100%.
someone didn't do their job, and I turned it off.
Yeah, it's crazy. There's this one show that I started a few years ago that I never finished. It's on Netflix. It's called 4%. I tried watching it in the English dub over, and I wanted to end someone because of how bad it was. It's in Persian, I'm pretty sure. I think if I remember this correctly. And I had the subtitles help a lot, but I love subtitles. I don't care about subtitles. I might watch a Squid Game, but so you don't know anything about the Squid Game, right? You're not gonna watch it, or maybe?
I'll eventually watch it. My wife has told me some things. Like, I know that it's like.
Do you know the cookie scene?
No, I don't know about the cookie scene.
So there's this cookie scene where you have to what's it called? Fuck. Get the shape out of the cookie. So like one's like a circle, a triangle, and someone gets an umbrella. And if they break the pattern, like, it splits, like say they split the circle in half and didn't get it clean with all the other cookie stuff off of it, they die.
Jesus Christ.
So do you think you'll be able to do it? Because there's people who actually have tried it.
Get the umbrella out?
Yeah, do you think so? Yeah, so it's almost, so there's a cookie, and say there's like an umbrella cookie cutter. They press it on really fast so it doesn't go through it, and they give you a toothpick, and you have to get it out without breaking the umbrella pattern.
Is there like a time limit?
Probably like 3 minutes.
The toothpick. Is this cookie baked?
Yes.
Baked hard?
Yes.
Fuck. I think I'm getting shot in the head. I'll try my damnedest. But I think I'm getting shot. With a toothpick and the cookies, dude, like you're just, I don't know, dude. I guess it depends on the cutter and the space around there's so many variables.
So yeah, people have been doing it with like cookie cutters, but in Korea, it's actually like an iron rod with the shape at the end.
Weird.
So yeah, so all the things in the Squid Game are stuff in Korea that actually happens, like red light, green light. I don't know how to say it in Korea. Whatever. It's fine. You hear they sing it in the movie, and it's something that children, not now, but a few generations ago, would play. So everything's like part of like Korean culture. But I think I'll watch.
Like now I know that I'm decades older than you, and slow. You may be able to. The red light, green light is a game, right? I can't say I played it, even though I'm old enough to have played it. It's like you have your someone has their back to them and they shout out red light to make you stop and green light for you to go, and the goal is for the person to make it to the person that's saying it, right?
Yeah.
Right.
But see, okay, in chat,
and not get
in
shot in the face.
Korean, it sounds so much smoother. In America, you say red light, green light. In Korean, it's like a whole song. They sing it, and it sounds so like smooth and romantic almost. It's weird, but there's some languages do sound romantic regardless of what you say. English is not one of them. I'd rather hear it in Korean than in English.
Well, not the way you speak it.
I know, I'm a little foul-mouthed.
I'm kidding.
No, but I think I've never played it. Red Light, Green Light as a kid. I barely even know how to play what's it called? Red Rover.
Oh Jesus.
I barely know how to play that. So I don't even know. Like, I know Red Light, Green Light, you stop and go, but like Red Rover, I have no clue how to play that.
I know you say Red Rover, send
Someone over.
Feliciana right over, and I don't know. I know that much, and I don't recall what's supposed to happen. I think you're supposed to.
I don't know if you're supposed to run over and break the links or something.
That's right.
Or
That's
something.
right. You like an arm. You hold hands, right?
So, but if you break it, do you join that side or go back to the other side?
I think you win. I think the goal is for the people that form the chain to be grasping in a way to prevent you from breaking through. So they call you. I think they call you over. If you can't break, then you become one of them, and then they call the next person over, and the first person that's able to break, which is probably a future football player.
Yeah, probably.
They go through and do. They probably stopped playing it because kids got their arms broken from the people.
Oh,
that
you think so?
took it really seriously. I don't know. That would be my guess. Like, you're holding your arm and someone's holding it super tight and it doesn't give. Like,
oh, maybe. I mean, that could be dangerous. I didn't think about it like that.
Yeah.
The winner is the one without a concussion.
Yeah, the super competitive kids that fucking.
Because I only remember playing that once, and I think I was 11, but I didn't really like care for it, so I was like, "Fuck this."
I can see that. Yeah.
I wasn't really a person who was like, I also don't like getting touched, so like I was not a person who was like, I was looking at them side eye the whole time.
Yeah.
And shit like that.
Yeah, that's it too. There are a lot of touching kind of stuff that maybe like not cool anymore.
Like, I don't know. I have to ask like my niece and nephew, since they're at that age where they can play games like that, to see if they actually play. I know like the hand games still happen, like double this, double that, and I know like pancake and some other things. Like, the girls do that, some of the guys will do it too, but I don't hear them talking about
patty cake or whatever.
Oh yeah, pancakes. Yeah, patty cake. But then there's also like 64 or something like that with your hands you do. And then double this, double that. But I don't hear them talk about like, Red Rover or like Ring Around the Rosie's not acceptable anymore. I've heard that. There's a lot of things that aren't acceptable anymore because of the backstory of certain ones, and like
I can see that.
a lot of parents don't want their kids to get touched by other kids. It's a whole, especially with the pandemic, that's not gonna happen anymore.
Did you ever hear of Duck Duck Goose? Did you ever hear that one?
No, the backstory of Duck Duck Goose?
I don't know if there's a backstory. It's probably some game to associate with the bird flu or something, but it was like you would sit on the floor, I think, in a circle with your eyes closed, and the person would walk around and they would touch each one on the head, duck, and then they pick a goose, and I think that person had to get up and chase, and the goal was for them to get to you before you got back to the spot that they left open. I think, if I'm remembering right.
That was, I remember playing that as a kid. That shit was intense because the summer camp I went to was a sport and fitness camp, and we were all competitive. So we would literally push kids, we would punch kids, and we would physically assault kids.
And that's why you didn't play Red Rover.
But let me put a disclaimer on this whole thing. We were all kids. This was like, I went to that summer camp from like 6 till 11, 12. So we all knew each other. It wasn't like we were over here hitting random kids not our age. We all grew up together playing all these things. So we were all the same age we went to summer camp. Just to throw that out there. And yes, that's how
they stopped because you were throwing elbows, is what you're saying.
We all were throwing elbows. We all left with bruises. And we played sports the entire day, so we came home with bruises. It wasn't like like, oh, did someone beat you? It's like, no, we got elbowed by playing basketball or some shit, or we ran into some kids would run into poles for some reason. That was a thing when I was a kid. Or we would just like tumble down, like we would just like trip and fall and stuff
Yeah, I
like
can see a
that.
lot of running. But I mean, like when you're a kid, that's what you do is you get fucked
Yeah.
up.
Oh yeah, London Bridge. That one doesn't get played anymore because of the backstory. But I don't know if Duck Duck Goose has like a traumatic backstory.
I'm sure all kids' games had to do with tragedy, probably.
Yeah, but I don't think they're gonna be playing games like that because of the pandemic. Like, does your daughter, like, do you know if your daughter does any, like, has she come home like, oh, we learned this today, like playing, Ring Around the Rosie or like London's Bridge falling down?
No.
Does she have any hand games yet or no?
No, I don't think so. I don't know. I think because the fact I remember like a lot of these games too being like games that you played because you couldn't go outside. So it was like raining. So it's like, okay, we gotta do something inside since we can't just let these kids, go buck wild. So like right now, the weather's good. So, when it comes time, it's just like let them go outside and run and scream until they're sweaty, and then bring them back in and teach them how to read words. So at this stage, at least. But yeah, I don't think I've heard of any.
I don't think there's any new ones being created either, though.
No, I don't think so.
I know, like, kids are imaginative; they make their own shit up, but there hasn't been like a universal thing, I guess.
Yeah, I think
the touching thing is done, basically, for a majority of things.
I think COVID. I know that's for sure. I know, like at school, it's kind of like, all right, don't touch each other.
Dude, it's insane. I've talked to a few of my friends. Like they have assigned seats even in college because because they also have people like track their walk pattern. So in case someone has a case, they know their people's walk pattern and they know where they sit. Even in high school, middle and elementary, they all have assigned seats, and you can't defer from that chair in any class. Even if you're like going to a different part of the building, you have to take the same way every time. You can't defer from it unless you go to the bathroom, obviously. But it's very strict, like very strict. Like you can't defer from it because there's been a lot of cases. Well, at least where I am, there's been a lot of cases because people like to misbehave and not follow procedures, and they're like, oh, it's
yeah.
Okay, so let me rephrase the tracking for chat. The school's not tracking. The kids themselves that are old enough are tracking. You can pull it up on your phone. There's like an app you can use. So and so people are notified if they'll say, if you cross from between this street and this street and go to this building, please be aware that someone with the case has arisen. So they want you to have a pattern, which is also bad to have a pattern for so long because of other people. So it's almost a lose-lose.
It's a new day and age, I guess, we live in. COVID has changed the world forever.
Yeah, I don't know if
until they come up with something. Until they come up with a tablet that I think they're working on one. Once it's like
the booster got approved. I saw that. But it's only for Pfizer though. The booster for Pfizer. So if you have that, you have to get the booster or something like that.
But if you took like Moderna, you couldn't take the Pfizer booster.
I don't know. I mean, I didn't take either of them. I got the Johnson & Johnson.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I
remember you saying that, and I'm thinking like
I came up with the pumpkin somehow because they gave me that. Like, not pumpkin, watermelon.
C's gonna die because it's like everybody was taking it, and they were like dying or something. I was just like, oh, it wasn't creating like blood clots. It was doing something crazy, right?
I got it after they reapproved it.
Okay.
I didn't get it before that. But I do remember them giving me a whole ass watermelon for getting the shot. Like, I mean, like, yeah.
Here you go. Here's a.
Yeah, they're like, here you go. And it was like on a whim because I was putting off the shot a lot, but then I was like, I need to get this if I want to be around my family, especially my mom. She needs to live at least to 150 to see my kids, and maybe my kids' because she has to.
And they did not give you. They were just like, you just want a watermelon. They didn't tell you like why. Was it for dehydration?
No, they were just like, oh, you want a watermelon for getting the shot? I was like, you're joking. They're like, no, and they literally passed me a whole. I think I posted it. They gave me a whole ass watermelon, and I don't even eat watermelon, so like it wasn't even like a beneficial thing for me. I just gave it to my family because they all love it.
Yeah, I don't like watermelon. Shocker. I know what you're thinking, but I don't. I've never been. I'm not I'd like the whole. I built melons. The melon family has a flavor that I just don't like. You know what I mean? So it's not just it's like watermelon.
So not like
cantaloupe
or the green melon. That's just called melon, right? The green one. I'm
not sure. I think so.
There's cantaloupe, and then it's usually with watermelon and that green one. And I've only ever heard it be called a melon. I don't think it actually has a name. If anyone in chat knows, let me know. But I don't think it has a name besides melon.
Yeah, none of them.
Honeydew? It's called honeydew? Of course you would know.
Honeydew, yep. Yeah, no, never.
I've never heard it be called honeydew. Only.
I've heard my mom say honeydew before.
Thank you so much, Tommy.
Is there a difference now between a cantaloupe and a honeydew, or isn't it
the taste and color?
Same thing?
Cantaloupe.
I feel like they're the same color.
Cantaloupe. No, cantaloupe is orange.
And honeydew's green.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so, because I eat cantaloupe. I don't eat honeydew. Honeydew tastes weird to me.
Yeah, they're all melons have they're just like, to me, there's like a, I don't know how to describe it. It's like fish, like seafood. To me, like they all have this overlying like flavor that they all share. Though the Nejigen ones, there's these different things that make them taste different. But it's like when you're biting into seafood, there's like the taste of water. I don't know. Aquatics.
Seafood's good. Seafood's
yeah,
fire.
I like seafood.
I won't eat scallops though.
Yeah, I've heard.
I'll eat other things but not scallops.
Maybe they weren't prepared in a way that you would like them.
Maybe that was it.
Maybe a different preparation.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of preparation. I don't know. Maybe I should, gradually go into it, not just get thrown into eating scallops. Yeah. So another thing I wanted to show is I've been on Reddit a lot.
Okay.
It's shocking. Now it has me. I have to read this because no, that's not it. Did that? There you go. I don't know if chat can really stream can see this. I might have to zoom.
I don't see it in the stream right now. Let me see. I'm looking. Okay, there it is.
It's kind of small.
Yeah.
But I'll attempt to read English. I'm pretty bad at it. But so I've been on Reddit a lot, and there's a thing called "Am I the Asshole?" So people, put their stuff on there, and I just randomly saw this one. I was like, and we'll go with this one because I had a few, and the other ones were like, and it's not dramatic enough for stream. So I went with this one instead. So this one is called "Am I the Asshole for choosing my little sister over my wife?" So he is a 29 male and has been married to his wife, 29 female, for 4 years. And he has a little sister who is 10 female who lives with their parents. And 2 months ago, their parents tragically passed away in a car accident. It has been very tough for his sister and himself, but they are managing. I am the only brother, so I decided to take my little sister and be her guardian. So here comes the issue. My wife and I already decided that we did not want kids. When I told her, she refused and said that she did not sign on to be a parent, and we had already decided that. I told her I understand, but life is unfair, and sometimes things happen that force us to do things outside of our comfort zone because it is the normal thing to do, or the right thing to do. She said that I should put her in foster care or for adoption. I shut that down completely and told her that the brother is still alive, not happening. We continued talking about this several times, but she would not change her mind. So I finally told her I am doing whether she agrees or not. She can either accept the situation or we divorce, and if she decides to go separate routes, I understand because I am the one who broke the agreement about kids. She started crying and said that she chooses the second option. My in-laws called me after my wife went back to their house, and they started berating me on how I'm an asshole and a bad husband, and that a good husband will always choose his wife first. I did not reply until they said that their daughter's tears are more valuable than my sister's. That got me pissed, so I told them to go fuck themselves and hung up the phone. So Reddit, am I the asshole for divorcing my wife to adopt my sister? Let that little sink in a little bit, and then we'll get chat can also comment on it. Mingus, do you have any thoughts?
I would say that no, he is not the asshole.
Explain. Why do you think that?
I think he said it right. It's like it'd be for you. Your parents die tragically, prematurely, and you have a sibling that needs a guardian, and you're supposed to release this sibling to people that you don't know, as opposed to taking her in yourself.
Yeah.
I think that's fucked. I don't think you do that. Now, do I understand where the wife is coming from? Yes. To me, my argument, she's 10. So you're not starting with an infant.
A newborn almost, or a toddler.
Yeah. That's a whole, like, I get not wanting kids because maybe you don't want the responsibility. You want the freedom to do what you want to do. But you're looking at a probably a 5 to 8 year
commitment
investment over 18 years.
Yeah.
And you know, like by the time she's you can argue that, depending on her personality, you can argue that at 10 she's pretty fucking self-sufficient. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like this thing of where you know, it's like me and my wife, like, it's not like we can say, oh, hey, our friends called. We're going to go hang out with them. We're going to leave you 5-year-old here alone at the house. If something goes wrong, give us a call. Try not to burn anything down.
Yeah.
Versus saying that to a 10-year-old. You know what I mean? Two different fucking ball games.
At 10, if I remember,
at
like
10.
At 10, I was home alone. You're old enough to use the microwave, I would hope, at 10.
Yeah.
If not, there's just a thing called a step stool. If you're not tall enough. I think you can, pour a drink at 10. I mean, I think I was.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I've been home by myself before, like from the age of 6 after school until my mom got home. So like I also was at 6, could use a microwave. So at 10, I think you can leave them for a few hours. It varies on state.
Yeah.
But it's not like a 5-year-old or a toddler that you have to constantly watch, constantly make sure they're not going to electrocute themselves on a fucking outlet.
Yeah, back in the day we called it being a latchkey kid. There's kids that both parents worked and they got out of school and they had to be responsible enough to get themselves home from school by bus or walking, and you had a key to the house and you opened the door and you went inside and you didn't fuck shit up.
Yeah. Because I
I
know
would
if I
think
did, I would have got that fucking slipper.
like I understand them having this agreement. I personally would think that like, okay, let's say I'm literally in this situation and my wife has to take in her 10-year-old sister or is asked to, and
Mm-hmm.
she's like, no, because it's gonna fuck up our shit. I would think like, what the fuck is wrong with this
Yeah.
person? How can you back on your own flesh and blood?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
It's not the
Um,
child's fault.
no, no.
It's not. So I see that I want to do this up because like you can see from like the husband's perspective, but you also can see the wife's perspective at the same time. But
Yeah.
I don't want to say like blood comes first, blood is better than water, because sometimes it's not, to be honest, depending on the situation. This
Very true.
situation, it is. Do I live by that statement? No, because shit happens. But
Yeah.
I don't think he's the asshole. I don't think chat thinks he's the asshole.
No.
I would say the wife's the asshole.
Yeah, 100%. I would think too that, you know, that if he's willing to turn his back on her, at what point is he gonna? At what scenario comes up where he turns his back on you?
Mm-hmm.
You're because I mean, technically, his wife is blood by law, right? You know.
Yeah.
Well, if he's going to, what scenario comes up that he's going to cut out on you? I
Mm-hmm.
would think that like, hey, yeah, I know we had this agreement, like saying this unique scenario was come up. Um, uh, we're gonna have to, like he's saying, life is not fair. It throws a curveball at you.
Mm-hmm.
We gotta adjust, and it's different. It's not like they're adopting a 5-month old, and their
Yeah.
whole world can upside down.
That the
At least you can
byline.
tell this kid like, hey, no, you can't do that, and they get it, and they understand why
Mm-hmm.
already. The hard stuff's done
Yeah, I mean,
until
it's
she
not
starts
like
being interested in sex.
it's yeah, it's not like they have to buy diapers and baby formula, a crib, any of that thing. She's 10, and like in a few years she'll get a job. She
Yeah,
probably won't be home a lot anyways.
yeah,
She'll be a teenager. She doesn't want to be around you anyways. Like it's that whole cycle. And then at
oh yeah,
18, I mean, you can honestly, if the wife had a problem with it, kick her out, I guess, but not really. I don't think the husband would do that. But it's not like you're getting a toddler or an infant,
yeah,
or a K through maybe what, you're 10, you're like in what, fourth grade.
yeah,
It's not you're getting like a
probably.
kindergarten first or second grader, because that's a little handful too.
Oh yeah,
It's 10. She's the wife is doing the most. Yeah, she is. But I think the more asshole is the wife, and then her parents.
oh yeah.
Her parents calling and like doing that. It's like saying.
And I get that too. You're like by default,
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna pick sides, and if the parents are gonna pick a side, they're probably not gonna pick the husband's side no matter
Yeah.
what. But at the same time, you gotta look at your daughter and be like, who did we raise?
Mm-hmm.
We, honey, we raised a monster.
Honey, we're not
She
gonna have
wants to,
grandkids.
she wants to hand this kid over to strangers.
Yeah,
Then
like adoption to another family or in the foster care. It's like people only do that when there's no relatives alive,
yeah,
not when
that
there is.
she's your blood now too by marriage. That's your sister
Yeah.
too.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, that's a good. He should have threw that in her face.
Yeah.
Honestly, like it. See, yeah. We get
You
the
never liked my family, did you?
yeah, something like that. If I got presented by that and my spouse was like, we had an agreement, I would have been like, well, fuck you. Where are the divorce papers at? I'll sign this right now.
Yeah.
Cause like
That's
I mean,
that's a
right now if anything happens to my family, I automatically get my sister's kids. So
Yeah.
like if my husband has to understand that there's
Yeah.
a possibility that we might go from a 2 to a 4 or 5 family real fast if anything happens. you know?
Yep. For better or for worse, the worst happened right now, so.
Yeah. So it's like, well, we have 3 kids now. Let's get this shit going or something, you know?
Yep.
But
now they can wash dishes.
No, yeah, they can wash dishes, or maybe. I don't know if I'll trust my sister kids to wash dishes. But yeah, so everyone agrees he's not the asshole. We're saying he's not the asshole. I think we're agreeing to that.
Yeah, I think the consensus.
The consensus. What time is it?
That is a tough spot to be in, but man, I think he made the right choice.
Yeah, I think so. This guy, slow dive. Well, that's all. That's really all I had for this podcast. I wanted to keep it an hour, and we're at an hour 18. So wow. I think we're good. That was your kid in the background?
Yeah, could you hear that? I guess the noise canceling on this mic is as good as she does talk loud. So
I could.
That's what 5-year-olds do. They're just like everywhere. Hear them everywhere.
Yeah, but
and whatever they're watching.
Whatever they're watching, yeah. I'll say it was a nice little back podcast. Where can they find you?
You can find me right here on Twitch when I'm not a lazy asshole and I stream. It is call_me_Mingus, and that's the only place you can find me because I don't maintain any other kind of social media. You can also find me if I'm not streaming and see streaming. Hopefully I'm streaming with her.
Yeah.
FOMO.
FOMO. You'll see Mingus little lurks and he mods for me and some other people, I'm pretty sure. Just to let people know, if you miss any of the podcasts, it will be uploaded tomorrow on YouTube. That's what that Nightbot link is doing right now. It's the new Amplified Podcast YouTube. I did upload a few of season 1. I have to do the rest, but it'll be there. And I think I'm stripping the audio and putting on maybe Spotify, SoundCloud, and one more place. But thank you, Mingus, for being on to the first episode, and we'll see you around. And thank everyone who has been here. Also, sorry, chat's a little. I can't see chat or read it. I want to focus on the guests more. But thank everyone who has been here, came back, and all the gifted subs and resubs with appreciation. And I'll see you guys next week. I bet you. Bye.
Thank you for having me.